Welcome to the Launch Lab. I'm your host, Colin Raja. Each episode, I sit down with top sellers, brand builders, and marketers to uncover why products win or don't and how to fix yours. Real strategies, real data, real results. Let's launch. Hey guys, this is Colin Raja. This is Launch Lab. Each episode, we break it down what's really take to win on Amazon. In the show, we feature the top e-commerce leader. This episode is brought to you by Launch Lab. I personally build a seven-figure brand on Amazon. Know what it takes to grow. If you're ready to launch smarter, scale faster, turn your data into momentum, you are in the right place. Remember when I really remember when I was getting a 10 sales a day and I started implementing the same strategy what I was implementing, and it also changed every single month. Trust me, last month whatever it's working is now working the same way right now. So when I grow it to 120 in 90 days, I know that this works actually. And every product, I cannot help every product because each and every product works in a different way. If you have like a commodity product, if you have like one among the 10 30 product what you're in the market, it's probably I'm not able to help you. We are very choosy who you work with actually. If you want, contact me for more details. Colin.raja@contentgroupllc@gmail.com. To learn more about it, launchtab.org. I have somebody called Rafay. Did I say your name correct?
That's right,
Rafay?
Rafay. You got it right.
Okay, yeah. I have somebody called Rafay. He's a TikTok marketing specialist with 9 years of e-commerce experience. He built it and exited his own brand and architect marketing system for several aggregators. Rafa is excellent TikTok influencer and affiliate marketing and paid ads, short form media, and the TikTok shop. And I want to give a crazy shout out to Tamer on the Top Dog Summit. That's the best event we've been in. It's a freaking amazing. We will get connected. You were speaking, I was speaking, and I was like paying so much attention because I love TikTok. I'm an early adapter in the TikTok. It was crazy. Rafa, welcome to the show. Why don't you a little bit tell me about yourself? Let's dive into a crazy doubts what I have. I want to get it clarified, honestly. This episode is specifically for, I want to know that how can I work with the brand and how can I bring them like in a TikTok so that we can able to create a hybrid approach to Amazon. Well, because the scary factor doing a new things, it always exists. People take that emotion and then get frozen like, oh my god, I don't know if I want to do it, I don't know, I cannot do it, so they get frozen actually. So go for your introduction and let's talk in more detail.
Sure, man. Dude, thanks for having me here. A little bit about me. I think you gave me a really nice intro, bro. But yeah, I've been in e-commerce space for 9 years, exited two brands, worked with a bunch of aggregators, been in the TikTok space well before TikTok Shop was around. So it's about 4 years, going on to five now. I've been trying to get brands to take advantage of TikTok for many, many years. I think one thing that you hit nail on the head is it's not about the fear. It's that if you don't understand what's happening in the e-commerce space, it's a fundamental shift. It's the social commerce wave which is starting. Now TikTok Shop is just the first boat, off the line, but every single other marketplace is going towards this direction. So if you're able to capture attention on a platform like TikTok, you can then take those skill sets and apply it on every other marketplace because they're all going towards that direction. So you got to be in the arena to compound your gains, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, which should be good.
I want to hit the biggest problem what we everybody's scared about TikTok right now at this point actually. Do you think TikTok will survive long term in the US, or is it really risk or being banned? What is your take on that one actually?
I think it doesn't matter. I think the toothpaste is out of the tube, the genie's out of the bottle. Customers are choosing with their wallet where they want to and how they want to consume content and buy. People are getting recommendations in short form content where content is proposed to them based on their interests. So whether TikTok survives or not, that doesn't matter. The consumers already decided this is the way they want to discover new products and then make the decision to buy. So I completely reject the frame. It doesn't matter. In fact, it'd almost be better if it was banned because there'd be all these affiliates that don't have a pathway or something to sell. And guess who will be right there to get them into an affiliate program you've built yourself? I will be, or you will be, or any brand owner that's listening to this that's actually taking advantage of TikTok Shop and the social commerce wave. So I think
That's
nothing to worry about.
That's a good take, man, on that one. So it's like, what are you saying? Is like even if they banned the way of consume, a way of purchase, it's shifted from from retail to online, online to become a online, online, even like get into a different niche. Actually, right now, instead of buying it from funnel, they're buying it through video commerce. Actually, that's what it is right.
Yeah. Yeah, and the video commerce, the difference between like TikTok and Amazon is that Amazon fulfills existing demand. So people have a certain search volume that they're already interested in a thing. So when they're looking to buy a thing like a green water bottle, they'll type in green water bottle and they look at all the options and now they're comparing. But if you get a customer on TikTok shop before they're even aware that they have the problem and convince them to buy, when they even
Yeah,
if they do decide from TikTok to go to Amazon, they're not looking for all the other products. They're looking for yours because they saw so many videos of yours. And so
yeah,
the advantage here is like you can visually learn to communicate your product effectively. And then secondly, you're not dependent on a marketplace for your business. If you're only on Amazon, like Amazon owns your business, right? You need another leg to stand on.
that's correct. Yeah, you got that right actually. So let's go into the next one. Next biggest thing is like, what are the biggest mistakes brands makes when they're launching on the TikTok shop, and how they could avoid that? Well, because why I ask this question is, I have worked with the multiple brands. They try to go on a TikTok shop, and they make like a crazy mistakes, and then end up in like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give up. That's it. I'm
Mhm.
done. I'm not going forward on this.
I think the biggest mistake, I kind of touched on it just before, is that on TikTok, you aren't launching in the stream of existing demand. You need to create demand. And what does that mean? The amount of volume of content you need to create is something that you've never been prepared for. You have no idea. So most people are like, "Oh, I created 30 videos and nothing has happened. It's such a waste of time and
Yeah.
money." You need to start at 300 videos a month. That's the start to get things going because you're actually trying to create the wave of interest. The
Hmm.
next mistake that a lot of brands make is that they think, okay, I've got 30 products or 10 products. I'm going to launch all of them on
Yeah.
TikTok Shop. It just does not work, man. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've seen something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you've seen
100%.
all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. All the time. I seen people. That's also happened in Amazon side actually. They have a
Mhm.
product, successful product in TikTok, or brand in TikTok, or Shopify. When they come into space, they were like, they wanna launch everything at the same time. I was like, no, you're not. You cannot do that one. So
Mm.
see, that's where the most another important question what I have for you is like, when I'm launching the product. So what do we do is basically helping people to launch product in a better way actually, and fast, and using the data, how we can able to define each and every metrics actually, in terms of like, for example, we take first week of launch, we need to check at least for at least like 5 to 10 keyword should be in like a below 30 position of ranking actually. If that's not happen, that means there is like a basic SEO issues happening. So then we don't continue the launch, we go and then fix the launch, fix the listing. What's the problem actually at that point, right?
Mhm.
So I want to know, what are the some of the KPIs, would when somebody is launching the brand, somebody is like going in a TikTok actually, what are the some yearly KPIs they need to know, like, so that they know that they're building the momentum, so that they're catching up with the, not only like focusing on only when I get the viral video, then only I'll be successful. It's like, how can we catch like a small wins, so that I can able to catch the bigger wins? What are something that you recommend actually on that?
Good question. Before I answer that, I realized I need to tell the listeners why should they even listen to me. Sure, I've been in the e-commerce space. Sure, I've been on TikTok, but why should you listen to me? Like I'm just a random guy. No, so I've been in this space for a while, obviously, but I've taken brands from 0 to 500K per month consistently on TikTok Shop across every niche that you can think of: book niches, pet niches, supplement niches, even like home decor niches. And so the formula and the system remains the same every single time. And so just wanted to say that in case you're listening to this and you're like, why am I listening to this guy named Raf? There's a reason. So what I'm about to share with you is the things that I'm applying to my new brands that I'm launching and the brands that I'm helping launch as well. So we've launched about 80 brands on the platform so far. And so when we're launching on that platform, there's a few metrics that matter the most. The very first thing is product selection. You need to make sure that the product you're actually selecting has passes these three filters. And you would have seen this at Tomer's event, and I mentioned this. And the first
Yeah.
filter is that, is your product demonstratable? Can I visually show the product in use? Because it's a video first platform, it's important. Now, most products tick that because it's a physical product. Some are more interesting than others, but that's usually a tick. The
Hmm.
next is there a transformation, a before and after that you can visually show about your product? Now you're probably thinking, okay, Yeah, sure. If my bed sheets are cotton and I change them to silk or satin, it's very obvious. I can see the before and after for sure. But what
Mm,
about supplements? It's a pill. I take this in my body. Okay, that would be a no. That's not true. Supplements are the second largest category on that platform. And
mm,
so an example of a transformation there is, let's say I'm selling a sleep supplement. This is the classic example that I always use. You could show somebody trying to sleep and sleeping ineffectively, rolling over, checking their alarm. It's 4 a.m. They still can't get to sleep. And then you have an after scene of them sleeping really soundly and it's 9 p.m. Right? And so that's a visual story that you can visually show. And that's the second filter. Most products will pass these first two. It's the final and third one that's the most important, which is there a passionate audience on TikTok, the platform, that is talking about your problem space, not your product, but the problem space? So the example that I like using is snow teeth whitening. Of course, they talk about teeth whitening, which is the main product, but are there people on that platform talking about oral health? Are they talking about the problem, which is confidence? Are they talking about looks maxing? These are all areas of interest that are creating content where that product fits right in the middle and hits all those interests. So when you're selecting the product, think about, are there people talking about the problem space? Are there passionate audiences talking about the problem space my product can sit right in the middle of?
mm. Okay, you would answer my question in the what I have in the next question. Actually, that's perfect. What it, so yeah, let's touch base on that one, right? So let's say that somebody has like all the criteria which we mentioned about right now.
Mhm,
They went with like a 300 content, like what you said, actually, completely.
mhm,
Um, how we can able to find the small win? What is a small win you would define? Like let's say
yeah.
for me, for the Amazon side, as I mentioned before, I need to have like a 30 keywords, three or five keywords needs to be ranked in 30% actually. The second
Mhm,
one is like in the first week of it, I need to rank for at least lowest keyword to the top five position actually, right?
mhm,
When I targeted that one. Second, third one is like I take a similar keywords and then able to rank some build the momentum more, and my sales able to build minimum like 5 to 10 or 20 regularly. I need to hit on that sales actually every day. So this is the
mhm.
case. If that's not happening, we stop the launch completely. What's something you have when somebody match all the criteria what you
Mhm.
said, and what are the areas they need to touch point at that point?
Well, there's three areas to start with. So the first is achieving product content market fit. This is
Mm-hmm.
essentially being able to visually effectively show your product, whether it's with an affiliate or you hire an internal creator to create content. If it's not getting organic traction, there's no point in throwing ad dollars behind it because you're just throwing, you know, good money behind bad content. So that's number one. We need to achieve that. And it's very easy and simple to see whether it's working. Are you past that first pool, which is around 200, 300 views? Are you past that second pool? We need to at least get content that's consistently getting past that second pool of 1,000 plus views with our organic content. That's one. If we're doing that, then at least we've have a hint towards product content market fit. Cool, we've passed that filter. The next KPI we're looking for is, remember, when we launch on a platform, we're starting from a dead start. There's like no momentum whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so when we're working with affiliates, we want to make sure that we give them an offer that's worth them working with us. A lot of brands go on there and think, oh, I'll give 10 or 15% commission. These affiliates should be lucky to work with me. But the truth is, you're not the prize in the beginning at all. The affiliates are the prize. So you need to woo them. And so you need to make sure you give them an offer that's worthwhile, higher commission, maybe it's retainer budget so that they can create content. So that second KPI is the amount of shuffle videos that have been posted week on week. And the
Mm-hmm.
third, as you're getting those shuffle videos posted, the third is how many inbound sample requests am I getting? Because in the beginning, you're going outbound, you're reaching out to all these creators, hoping and begging that they work with you. If you're achieving product content market fit, if you're starting to get traction in that first month, your sample requests week on week should start increasing because now creators are seeing it as an opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, when the sample market was increasing, that means that there is a lot of eyeball is going on in the market. So people like, okay, that means something is working. That's a first
Yes.
level of KPI. Yeah, if I were me, yes, of course, that's the first level of KPI. I
Mhm.
would definitely would start. See, one of the problem what I initially see, I'm a very early adapter in TikTok. I did TikTok like 4 years ago,
Yeah,
right?
you're telling me.
My product went from zero to like I think 80 million views actually. My
Wow.
and there's no TikTok shop at that point. My sales went from 100 sales to 700 sales a day. And I found the creator, and then like I said, I'm gonna run a Spark ad after they complete the on the organic growth comes in place. They
Mm.
start the organic growth. and then we like spark cats, and then we keep the build the momentum going actually. And we were about to hit like eight figure on that one or two products actually. So we built
Wow.
that traction actually. So after that, I tried to go in the TikTok. The biggest problem is like finding a creator, really quality creator. At that point, we look for an agency before. I went in and looked for like a TikTok creator list, reaching out
Yeah.
to them personally. Like, oh my god, it's so much time consuming. Like if I'm like a one man show, if I have a team, I don't want to give it to them, boy, because I want to do it on my own. What is the best way if somebody who's like want to try and they want to get the creator actually, and what's the best
Mhm.
platform they have, or what is the best recommendation what you got actually?
I think still to this day, and there's a bunch of platforms I'll talk about in a second, but the to this day, the best creators that I find is based on my spy avatar account. I just create a dummy account and I train that dummy account to only show me content in my niche, in my problem space.
Ah.
So what that allows me to do is three things. It allows me to see what type of content my target avatar is consuming. So I can see content frameworks and I can swipe all those. I can see what competitors are advertising to my target audience and what deals they're putting together. So again, that's insights I can then use and swipe. And then third and finally, I get to see what type of creators are engaging my avatar. And
Ah.
that's really the most valuable. And those are the first people I'm reaching out to. Cause I'm like, it came up organically. TikTok thinks because I'm the avatar on this dummy account, TikTok thinks this is who I would resonate with. And they're going to be the first list. So my goal is to at least build a list of 100. And that's very manual, right?
Mm.
And I'm not going with them for an exchange like product for post or product for commission. I'm going to them with like a retainer deal. We're going to jump on a call and figure out like a deal right there. So I want that. These are like pre-seeded quality like creators, not or affiliates, not influencers. The whole influence word is like dead. So there's that. Then the next piece is okay, if I've got budget, I'm probably going to work with a multi-creator network. One of my favorites to work with is Media Labs, and I think I mentioned this to you before. And they've
Mm.
got an army of 5,000 plus affiliates that are specifically trained to create content that converts. And so if you have a budget, highly recommend doing that because you immediately go to 750 to 900 shopful videos from month one when you work with a multi-creator network like that. And so that volume breaks through the noise. So that would be step number two. And then
What is
step
it called?
three, yeah,
Sorry to cut you off.
so
What is it called? Media Lab, actually, what you said?
Media Labs.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, yeah, go for it. Yeah, sorry, man. Just
Yeah,
cut you off.
no, for sure, bro. And the third piece is that once you start getting this traction, now you end up getting inbound creators. So you can either go out there with like a net to try and catch flies, right? Or you can have one of those things, those zappers that attract the flies and get them. If you do
Yeah.
it this way, they come to you, and then you get to pick and choose who the quality creators are. And it's way less time and higher leverage doing it this way, as opposed to what most brands do. They'll use a bot to do mass outreach and
Mm.
they've got no sales, so their response rate is less than 1%, and they're just wasting time and money, which
Mm.
is the worst.
Okay, that's good. No, I used a tool called Appify before
I haven't
to.
heard of Apify, to be honest.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Appify, what it does is basically you put like a comment, so you put like a niche, and
Hmm.
it gives all the people who commented on that niche specifically, who
Oh, wow.
created the video and who commented that video, and then they also go on and check if they created it. You can also go on and check their comment, and also it has like email IDs and every single thing there actually. So that
Very
was a great
cool.
I use. They are also have an API. You can connect with your Excel completely, so to scrape every single time with that particular keyword what you use at that point actually.
Does it distinguish between people who are commenters or people who create content?
Yes, you can able to get that one. Who's created the video will have like who's the creator, and also no, this is like two separate action. One,
Hmm.
the people who comment about it to read what kind of. So I use it for two reasons. One was
Hmm.
like a commenter, the video creator, and get their email IDs and contact information completely. The second
Hmm.
one is like a commenter, what kind of comments they posting, what kind of pain points they have, and how we can able to respond to the pain point. One of the best video what I created is like response video. So the
Mm,
response,
yes, of
other
course.
words, like anybody commented, take that comment and then create a response out of that video. So it goes like super pretty well. What is something that your current trend right now or current hack in terms
Yeah.
of like creating viral videos actually at this point?
Deal. I will ask that question. I want to double click on what you just said because it's interesting that you can get email addresses. Can you get email addresses of the commenters as well?
Um, I think yes. Any account who has like a public email ID, they have the
Mhm.
public email ID they mentioned, yes, you can able to find out that information.
The reason I'm asking that is you can then get those email addresses, create a lookalike audience on Meta, and then
Oh yeah,
run
sure,
a
yeah,
funnel for the launch on TikTok Shop.
yeah,
Interesting. Okay,
yeah,
that's something I'm going to try and work in for this new brand launch I'm doing. That's very interesting. Cool.
yeah.
I'll keep going.
That's fine.
That's great.
Uh,
Very cool. Um,
so
yeah,
yeah,
but to
go
your question,
ahead.
bro. Yeah, to your question, like what are some tactics and strategies I'm seeing? I mean, look, there's many. So I can tell you what TikTok is pushing, and I can tell you what's working right now for shops on TikTok Shop. So TikTok currently is pushing lives in a massive way. They're pushing lives and seller operated revenue. So TikTok lives obviously are just like shopping streams, and they're pushing it a lot. And if you end up creating lives from your TikTok shop, give you way more e-commerce buyer traffic. Because what like listeners need to understand is that even though there's like 170 monthly active users on TikTok, the proportion of those that are actually TikTok shop buyers is smaller. And so TikTok is protective of that buyer traffic. And so if you do what they want you to do, they're going to give you more of that e-commerce buyer traffic. So that's a way of kind of like hacking it because that's what they want you to do. And
Yeah,
it's like a significant impact. The next is they really want brands to end up becoming their own sort of like promoters. So hiring an internal creator, creating content that are shopful videos that are also pushing towards the shop, and then you get additional traffic. So that's kind of like the vanilla stuff that's working right now that TikTok Shop recommends, and I 100% recommend definitely do that.
that's
The
amazing.
next, definitely do that. Yeah. Um, the next layer is leveraging TikTok SEO. I mentioned this briefly, but it's even more impactful now that videos, captions on videos, text written on the videos, not just on the caption text, are getting indexed, which means you are turning up in search results even more and more. And so people use familiarity as a proxy for authority. So if you're creating content around the problems that your customers have in your problem space constantly, and people are using TikTok search bar as their primary search engine, which they are, you end up coming up front and you get to answer that question before they ever see an
Okay.
ad from you or a shuffle video. And so they
Yeah,
know, like, and trust you before you even advertise to them. Doing that at scale is something that's such low hanging fruit. And 99.9% of brands I'm talking to haven't even touched it, like, don't even look at it. So, such an easy, low hanging fruit to do, bro. So, that would be that middle tier. And then what I'm seeing now is just a ton of AI content. AI avatars are crushing it. And it's just like you having the ability to create AI content. And it depends what product you're specifically pushing and to what target demo, because some target demo is really quick at being able to recognize that it is an AI avatar. But right now, you can create some amazing AI avatars and be able to push those shuffle videos,
I-
and they're printing. Yeah.
is it working? The AI content are really working really well.
Yeah, this brand that I'm working with at the moment, not through the uptick, but just in general as consulting, they're doing 1.5 mil a month on TikTok Shop, and 80% of their revenue is coming directly
So
through AI, which is just
damn,
insane.
I would love to get some examples so that we can show it to them. Maybe like you can send it to me, and then if somebody is commented in the post, will respond to that one to the
For
person
sure, man.
to AI content example actually. I mean, one of the specific things I worked on with a lot of TikTokers, not TikTok, the brand from TikTok. So one of
Mhm.
the problem what we face is like, okay, when somebody has built a TikTok attraction, and they trying to come on Amazon, they think that okay, the TikTok traction is always going to be there, and then they just like trying to. So the most of the sales come from TikTok, Amazon. If somebody's like TikTok brand, most of the times the sales come from Amazon as like their traffic, what they build it actually. The people
Mhm.
below us, they coming in and building the Amazon side. But if you go on and check the backend analytics, we can able to clearly see the sales come from the branded keywords or somebody mentioned the brand name or with the whole keyword, it's automatically in the brand analytics data completely. And the one time this happened, one of the brand we work with, they were get a crazy hit on the
Mhm.
TikTok, and all of a sudden the traction was down because they downplay a little bit. They don't know how to build the momentum and keep going. They lost the sales in both the side actually.
Mm.
So building the hybrid approach is like I find it's the most important thing in building the TikTok and also like building the brand actually. What is your how do you see that one, and what is your recommendation on from your side actually at that one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't recommend launching on TikTok Shop less you also are live on a bottom of funnel solution aware platform like Amazon. Because the spillover effect is so crazy. Like we have a brand that we're working with, and she was at like 12 sales per day, and she's consistently at 900 sales a day just
Yeah,
by going viral on TikTok. And it's maintained, which is insane. And that's on Amazon. That's not even on TikTok shop, which has
yeah.
exploded. But you have to remember, TikTok creates the wave of interest. And if you're not on a place like Amazon, your competitors are eating off the interest you work so hard
Oh,
to create. So you
oh,
need both. 100% you need both. That's
no,
how you build a real business.
I
Yeah.
also see the other side actually. There is one other brand called Glaze Cream something like a glaze something. I seen in the brand analytics they were like close to 7,000 BSR SFR actually, which
Hmm.
means they have like close to 400 to 500 people looking for that product every
Yeah.
single day. But
Yeah.
they're not in even in the brand. They're not even in the Amazon actually.
Yeah.
So
It's
because of that
crazy.
reason, there are other people are coming in and taking over the sales actually from them completely.
And have you noticed that they'll copy the almost exact same packaging
Exactly.
as
Yeah.
well? Because
Yeah.
people know what they're looking for. They don't know the branding, they know what it looks like. And that's why it's so important to be on both places. Obviously have mention your brand, but then track your branded search on the Amazon side because you will see a massive spike and it'll sustain if you keep going on both sides, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's exactly what we have seen, and also the rank only for the keyword that's create insustainability, like not able to sustain on the this side of the platform. We've seen that one very often actually at that point. Yeah, I want to go into like a quickly on the personal side of it, man. Like I heard somewhere that you mentioned that e-commerce changed your life actually. What
Mhm.
sparks the transformation? What's the key lesson did you take away out of this? Why? Because I didn't come from like a rich background. I didn't come from the business background. I wanna hear what your how e-commerce changed your life actually at this point.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I used to be a grade school teacher, so I used to teach a composite class of year three and year four. So we had 33 kids in my class, and so that's kind of where my journey started. And I love that, to be honest. And when I retire, I'm probably going to be a teacher again because I actually genuinely love it. But I knew that I could do more, and I wanted to do more, and I wanted to not be location dependent. That was my biggest thing. I wanted to be able to travel wherever I wanted to go, and I
Yeah,
wanted my business to go with me, and that was really the driving force. And so. I tried a bunch of stuff, man. Like I quit teaching halfway through the year, had no idea what I was going to do. I did a bunch of random stuff as you do. Like I did Forex trading, hated looking at graphs and like head and shoulders, whatever, all those graphs. And then I went into Airbnb property management. But then again, I was location dependent in a way because I was still getting
yeah,
calls about like someone's bathroom's not working, hated that.
yeah.
And then I got into drop shipping because it was like pretty big at the time. And I sucked at drop shipping. I actually had no idea how to market at the time. And so it's terrible. But I understood how to make products better because it was something that I had to do in my previous work where I had to figure out, okay, this is the current lesson. How do I make this better? An order of magnitude better. So then the result is there. In that situation, it was for the kids, but it mapped really easily over to Amazon. So I was like, okay, this product exists. How can I make it an order of magnitude or two orders of magnitude better? And so that's how I started building brands on Amazon. And that got really good. And then I was like, okay, I better learn this marketing thing just to grow this brand even more. And then that's
It's
kind of how the journey went. Yeah.
it's interesting like how people who's not in the industry will come and then disrupt the market actually, just like you or me. Like for example, the PayPal doesn't have any kind of bank information. Elon Musk never had like a car manufacturing company. They are the one who disrupt the web because we have like a very curious mindset. Curious mindset will always build something like a great web because we look for something that which is going to create the dopamine effect of us, and then we want to go behind that one actually completely. Yo, I
Yeah,
want to
for sure.
one more question. I know we're getting closer to the end actually right now. What is your biggest setbacks in your life, and how that reshape you in terms of like, see, okay, let me ask you a question again. What is your biggest setbacks in your life? How would she reshape you, and what is your comeback? Can you tell me more in detail about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like, I've had tons of setbacks constantly. Like, I remember I started my very first business when I was 19, and I used to be a massage therapist, and so I built a massage therapy business and absolutely sucked. I just was terrible. But I knew, like, okay, the room needs to have carpet, some aromatherapy, and all this stuff. But I had no idea how to get customers through the door, which is why I'm so obsessed with attention distribution and getting like as long as you have attention and like a starving crowd, you can basically sell anything. That's why I'm like so full on marketer now. And so That completely failed, lost thousands of dollars. At 19, that was my life savings. And so then obviously went through the whole thing and then became a teacher and then all these things. And I'll kind of like spoke quickly over it, but each of those things were failures. I invested thousands of dollars in each of those initiatives and they all tanked. They all sucked. And I
Yeah.
lost a ton of money.
Yeah.
And then from there, my first product on Amazon was successful, but my next five failed horribly. And that was thousands, tens of thousands of dollars just gone. And so I think in those moments, for me, it was like other people that are like me are successful. People that are smarter than me, people that are not as smart as me are successful. So smartness is not the thing. So what is the thing? It's essentially just consistency. If
Yep.
you stay in the same thing long enough,
Yep.
you will win. You will win as long as you let the learnings come in and you change your behavior. As long
Yep.
as you do those things, um, that would probably be my biggest lesson. And the thing I would piggyback on that is, and this comes true every single time, and I just remind myself, like true learning happens in the arena. If you're listening to this thing and you're thinking, I want to do this, but you're like, let me research more, you could learn this much, right? But if you actually launch on the platform and actually decide to move forward, you'll learn way more wider
Yeah.
and way more deeper by actually being in it, and you'll be able to move faster. And that's what I really recommend. So that those would be my learnings, bro.
Yeah, man. I totally I mean, resonate with what you're talking about. You don't have to be smarter. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to be born with like a boss skill set. As long as you've been consistent in a one single field what you want to work on, and you try to fail super hard, and you will get there actually really well.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And I think the worst thing is like, okay, if you don't do anything, you then continue life as is. And for me, that's losing. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to continue life as is.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, if I lose, I'm back here.
Yeah.
Okay, that sucks. So there's only upside. And especially if you're early in your entrepreneurship career, like it's such asymmetrical risk. You're just
Yeah.
back here. And if you're like, depending on what age you're at, okay, fine. If you're 20, you've got like as many like bats. You can do this a million times. But even
Yeah.
if you're like 45 or 50, you have many years, many more bats ahead of you. So it's like you only need to hit this right once and let it compound, and then you can win. So
you
it's
you
just
nailed it.
something.
You
Yeah,
nailed it really well, man. What is the one thing I got into experience of, like, it is not about winning actually. It is not about playing to win. Of course winning is most important thing, but as long as you know how to play, and how you know how to play with other people actually, and you know how to be like engage and like able to be have a sportive way to work with everybody and experience life with every single person, and everybody will able to be resonate with you, come with you, join with you, collaborate with you, and then live with you, and then like able to build something with you actually. If you're like
yeah,
trying to be like, if you're being an asshole to win the game actually, trust me, you will have the wins, but you will have like a life actually. Life will hit you hard one day actually. It's not going to be
yeah.
stay consistent. That's the biggest learning what I learned, man. It's a fucking crazy. I stick with that one actually for sure. I have a last question for you, man. That's like a rapid question what I would throw, which is like, what are your favorite tools and softwares you use right now, which you cannot work without those things in everyday basis?
For TikTok Shop, it would probably be Kalo Data or Fastmoss. These are two softwares that are kind of like an X-ray tool, kind of like Helium 10 in a way, that lets me see a lot of stuff. Um, I think very fast it's becoming getpoppy.ai. It's probably one of my favorites. It's one that I
Mm-hmm.
discovered recently, but it's just so overpowered. It takes in all these large language models and you're able to get it to train on viral content in your niche that you can pull from Fastmoss or Kayla data. And it spits out like fully done scripts and hooks and all this stuff that you can give to your affiliates. And it's like really, really good.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm never going to stop using that one. And third, and this is probably more of like a management type software when you start scaling, is probably Growy.io. I'm a massive fan of that software that allows you to manage affiliates not just on TikTok, but like across every other social media platform, and then do automatic payouts. Dashboard tells you all the
Oh,
information that
that's
you need. It's
that's
so cool,
awesome.
dude.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's amazing. The last question, man, for you.
Mhm.
Who are the colleagues are you most respect in your industry? And then who you really inspired about, like who you like really get inspired.
Like kind of like digital mentors, you mean? Like people that I look at and I think, well, they're
Yeah,
cool.
the digital in your
Yeah.
industry or in general in your in entrepreneurship journey or in your
Mhm.
industry, who you really respect, and inspire about?
I mean, I think I look at across the board. I think because TikTok Shop is so new, there's a lot of people that haven't been in the industry and are talking as if they know it. So it's kind of hard to find the winners in that space in a way. So I couldn't necessarily highlight one in particular that inspires me in that way, but there's a lot of great people to learn from there. I'd say broadly speaking, just thinking from first principles, Charlie Munger is massive. I've read all his stuff. It's
Oh yeah,
amazing. Just massive fan of him.
yeah.
Um, Depending on what sort of lessons you want to learn, I think you can learn a ton from the likes of, Hermoses or Russell Brunson. Those are great from a marketing perspective. If you're, I actually like looking at a lot of people that are reading autobiographies or biographies of people that are in completely different industries, like Sam Walton, or I
Mhm.
like reading, Amazon's or Bezos's shareholders letters to see how his thinking is. Because,
Huh.
if you can learn how to think effectively, you can then apply that to your industry. And people don't realize like the strategic arbitrage of if I can take thinking from this software niche or this, physical grocery niche or like literally like hair care if you're not in that niche and you just like pull it in and what are the lessons of building this massive business that they've done and apply it to your game, like you have an edge that most people in your niche will never have because they're only looking for people in their own industry. Yeah.
No, that's totally true because that's what I heard one of the book in the Apple how they find us like it's basically he didn't go on the Apple like a phone accessories to build the Apple. He went into the Macy's or some other place actually the
Hmm.
to get to find the home accessories which is like built with like aluminum um texture actually basically
Yeah.
like what, this never exists. So going in a different segment of the market and then inspiring it and then coming back and applying in that one in your market, it's
Yeah.
amazing. That's awesome, man. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. How somebody can reach out to you, and then what is that you're offering at this point? What is that? Are you mentoring people? I know you're mentoring people. Something. Can you give me a little bit more detail so that people would be love to join you? What are you doing actually?
Yeah, for sure. I think the one thing that's most important to know about me is I'm not a massive fan of done for you agencies, especially in the TikTok shop space. Not a fan of that. What we do is done with you. So we help implement these systems in-house within your business. And it's basically a mentorship program for brands that we feel like we can help. So truth be told, we've said no to more brands than we've said yes to, just because if we can't help you, we're just not going to. But reach
Exactly.
out to us at theuptick.com and book in a call. And it's going to be a 15, 20-minute call where we can find out, okay, what's your product? What's your brand? Where are you in your business cycle? Because we've had brands that have a bunch of capital, but their brand itself is not established on any platform at all. And we're like, okay, you actually just need to focus on your Shopify game right now, or just on your Amazon game before you expand to this channel. So we'll have an honest conversation. If we can help you, then of course we can move the conversation along.
That's awesome, man. So where somebody can reach out to you? Do you have the email
The
address?
Yeah, theuptick.com. And then the email that they want to reach out to is my name, Rafay, at theuptick.com. Just shoot me an email and we'll get back to you.
Thanks, brother. Really appreciated that you're here. You added so much value, and I really had so much learned, so much here. Thanks for being here. Hey, if you are listening to this, reach out to him if you want to be work with them. I heard great things about him, and if you never subscribe for this channel, go and then hit subscribe, and then we will be like interviewing so many people and great lessons to learn, so we can build a life together and make our life super easy. Thank you. Have a good day, guys. Thank you. See you in
Thanks
the
so much.
next.
Thanks for tuning in to the Launch Lab, where data meets momentum and great ideas become seven-figure brands. If you found today's episode valuable, share it with a fellow Amazon seller, subscribe, and leave us a review. Until next time, launch smart, scale fast, and never stop testing.